Welcome back, boys and girls, to Rotten Reels Reviews Audio Review, as we are number 50. Now, we had a substantial hiatus, and yeah, that sucked, but it does happen. The current laptop is functioning fine, so she wouldn't have any problems there. Well, we had a poll, and most of you apparently decreed I do a Coppola movie rather than Subspecies 2. Which makes me wonder why I still keep putting that one up as an option. So, did a little bit of digging, as this is Francis Ford Coppola's first legitimate film, as apparently he had done a few sexploitation films prior to today's film. Now, with that in mind, that does not put him in the same category as Gene Rollin or, God help him, Jesus Franco. I just thought it was a funny notion that the man who brought us The Godfather had done a couple of nudie flicks, The Bellboy and The Playgirls, and Tonight for Sure. Yes, plenty of TNA, black and white, sound filmed in mono, so, have at it. Today's film is a horror thrill that could actually be considered a jumpstart to the crazed axe murderer storylines and even a precursor to Halloween or Black Christmas. This is Dementia 13. One night, out in the moonlight for a row in the lake, John Halloran, Peter Reed of Dementia 13, Freak Show, Johnny Shortwave, Talons of the Eagle, is explained to his captivating and somewhat charming wife, Louise, Luanda Andrews from The Pit and the Pendulum, Dementia 13, Easy Rider, and Shampoo, that his mom's a little bit kooky. You see, the will to the inheritance is a bit off. If John dies before his mother, Louise isn't seeing dime one. And with that little bit of cryptic, the dude drops dead of a heart attack. Tragic irony or poetic justice? You be the judge. Louise, quick on her feet, dumps John's body overboard and claims he's on a business trip. She goes so far as to type up a letter as she is off to the country to ingratiate herself with her mother-in-law in the will. Not sure how long the dead husband can be out of town. I think at best she's got a week, 2 max. No sooner has Louise arrived at the castle, yeah, they're that loaded. She witnesses Lady Halloran and sons Billy and Richard engaging in some sort of annual ritual. Mama Halloran, as you might have gathered, played by Ethna Dune of Omnibus, Playhouse 90, She Didn't Say No, Shake Hands with the Devil, and The Mutations, is, how shall we say, a bit different. A little off tilt, perhaps. Ah, the hell with it. She's crackers. She insists on the anniversary of the death of her daughter, Kathleen, to visit the very pond she drowned in as a child, and tries to communicate with her. Attempting to cash in on Lady Halloran's superstition, as well as her very fragile mental state, Louise hatches a scheme to con Lady Halloran that Catherine is attempting to communicate from beyond the grave. She sneaks out in the middle of the night with the armful of the dead kid's toys, placing them all around the Mass Estates pond and tying them off to the point where they would float up under spooky circumstances. Yeah, Louise is a bitch, in case you missed that. As the scheme is looking good, Louise accidentally swims next to what appears to be Kathleen's somehow preserved body. I mean, this kid is pristine. Now, I'm not sure if they just made a tomb in the shape of her and decided, yeah, we're plunking it in the water. I'm not even sure if it was meant to be scary or if no one wanted to spring for a fake child-sized skeleton. I'm not certain. It was just kind of eerie. Panicked, Louise surfaces, makes her way to the shore, only to be attacked by an axe by an unknown assailant, who drags her body away in true Jason Voorhees style. That, on the other hand, was quite creepy. Also, there was a lot of screaming as she was getting slowly axed to death. Concerned for Lady Halloran's well-being, family doctor Caleb, the late Sir Patrick Magee of Zulu, Lady Ice, Last Days of Man on Earth, Luther, and King Lear, is convinced that Louise's sudden disappearance is a mystery to be solved. He hounds the entire family in this Poirot fashion, almost like a completely crazed manner. Meanwhile, a poacher just sneaks up on the estate to pick up some easy prey, which he in turn becomes such at the hands of the killer, or rather, his or her axe. Dr. Caleb is convinced that one of the brothers is committing these murders and offers hypnosis as a means to see on a subconscious level if one of them, in fact, is the killer. Is the Halloran family all breadbaskets? Should someone alert the constables? And how bad must John's body been rotting in the lake by this point? So what we have here essentially is a thriller slasher film predating any of the Technicolored or colored films from the 70s and the 80s. With moody atmosphere, a good pace, this gorgeous estate as their background, and a score that provides the right tone to give off a gothic horror, I was dutifully impressed. Even more so from a technical aspect, this film was shot in 9 days, and from its tight editing, you'd swear this was at least a month, if not 2, in the can, but not under 2 weeks. Filmed in 35mm spherical, sound of course in mono, and from the angles of these shots, especially the night shots, were very similar to Coppola's then later Dracula film in style and presentation. Now, its normal runtime for this film is 75 minutes, but there is also an 80-minute version with a prologue. I got the 75, so I honestly don't know what the 80-minute one, and if it's even better, hell, I'd probably watch it. Produced under the nose for news, or the nose for talent as I've always called him, and the master of frugal, Roger Corman, also had a hand in adding additional scenes to ratchet up the tension. Now, that in mind, apparently both Coppola and Corman argued over whether or not this film could be released in its current state, and to move the project along, he called in exploitation director Jack Hill. Jack Hill you would know from directing things like The Big Birdcage, Black Mama, White Mama, Coffee, and Foxy Brown, to film additional sequences. With a rough estimation budget of $42,000, Coppola wrote this screenplay considering by many of the harsher critics than I that this was a complete Psycho ripoff. And I gotta say, I felt it had its own style with the more gothic horror, the brutal murders, and just keeping the audience guessing what's coming for you next, I guess would be the best way to describe it. To be perfectly honest, I enjoyed it. It was dark, it was moody, it was really taking out of the typical element. The problem is I have seen so many slasher movies that duplicate this formula. You're going, yeah, I'm starting to see where the tropes originated. Okay. But, overall, I would recommend this film. It's not nearly as graphic as the modern-day slasher film, so your gore fans are probably going to get lost on it and not feel as intrigued. But if you enjoy something a little more disturbing on a psychological level, think along the lines of, well, for example, Psycho or The Haunting in its original release, yeah, by all means, watch the sucker. And that's about all I got. So, again, I will have another poll to decide whether or not you guys want to watch another audio review. And I am doing my level best to finish up this Billy the Kid versus Dracula movie. It is taking forever. Anywho, talk with you guys later. Bye.